Been frightening new details on the strange man arrested for living in the basement of a dorm at Brown University. Tonight, we're hearing from students who found him in their closet.
Plus, a fired substitute teacher in Westerly is suing the town. Why he says he was discriminated against for his political views. And
DNA technology leading to a breakthrough in a decades-old murder case out of Springfield. We'll get to those stories shortly, but first tonight at 11 at 11, we're tracking breaking news out of Providence. Our ABC6 News cameras on the scene of a stabbing tonight downtown. According to Providence police, one person was attacked right in the area of Waybosset and Pine Streets. This happened around 9 o'clock this evening. That victim was taken to the hospital but is expected to be okay. No arrests have been made just yet. Now to our top story tonight on 11 at 11, the Brown University dorm squatter story we first told you about last night at 11, getting even more bizarre and concerning for students at that prestigious university. Good evening and thanks for joining us tonight. I'm John DeLuca.
And I'm Tiffany Murphy. Tonight we're hearing from two female students in that dorm, one of whom says she found him in her closet. ABC6 News reporter Daniel Coates joins us live in Providence with more on this story. Daniel.
And Tiffany, this is certainly a concerning incident for those students, but they tell me that the incident in this Wayland Hall from earlier on this week, the response by Brown University is actually more troubling, as those students in that hall were only told roughly a week later.
There was a man in my closet.
Brown University sophomore Sherry Zhang left her two-person dorm room in Wayland Hall unlocked before going to breakfast Tuesday, as her roommate, who wishes to remain anonymous, was in the bathroom feet away, finding a stranger in Sherry's closet as she returned.
He just seemed to be standing in her closet and not really doing anything, which was really odd. And he didn't seem to be hiding because, as soon as I came into the room, he just turned around and then started heading for the door. But he seemed really spaced out.
The man said he was looking for someone and bolted out of the room. Moments later, Sherry got a text from her roommate.
At first, I thought it was really funny, and I was like, okay, that's a really funny joke. But then she said, oh no, it's not a joke. This is actually a person in your closet.
The students say Brown met with them that day, but never sent an email to all of Wayland Hall about what happened.
We were really confused that no one was reaching out to us or no one was saying anything about the situation until after the other reports came in.
The reports that came nearly a week later by Yantha and Alexia, who told us last night they ran into the same man in their Wayland suite, saying the university believes this man could have been living in their basement.
This man has been breaking into all of our private spaces for probably the past month.
Court documents showed 27-year-old Tony Green was arrested in connection to Sunday's break-in and has a prior history of trespassing at Brown. The university said they only contacted the dorm about the threat after he was arrested Sunday, and not after Sherry's scare Tuesday.
Nothing seemed to have been done right after our incident. I think we would have appreciated more support in the time in between. It got to the point where we were just feeling really just uncomfortable in our own dorms.
Brown University says they have increased security presence around Wayland Hall and throughout campus. Live in Providence, I'm Daniel Coates, ABC6 News.
Daniel, thank you. Now to an ABC6 News follow-up. Eviction notices handed out to homeless people who've been living outside of the State House now for months. The notices were delivered by state police earlier today, stating they need to leave by Friday or they'll be fined or even arrested. Spokesperson for the governor saying relocation to the homeless shelters is being offered, but they aren't giving any specifics on which shelters or how they'll get there.
I'm going to stay here until literally every homeless person that I know or see is off the streets permanently. I'm not going anywhere.
Their feelings don't trump our rights. We pay the taxes on the buildings, and they work for us.
Now, there are plans in the works to use the Cranston Street Armory as a shelter, but it won't be ready for a few weeks at the earliest. ABC6 News spoke with a homeless outreach worker who says even when it opens, the Armory will not provide enough beds to house all of the homeless in the state.
So as work does continue to prepare the Cranston Street Armory to house the homeless, a World Cup watch party there has been canceled. Scout Urban, the company contracted to revitalize the Armory, announced the World Cup watch parties in late November. It was supposed to start with the quarterfinals on Friday. Just days after that announcement, though, Governor McKee said it would be used as a 24/7 shelter for the homeless. Initially, the watch parties were supposed to take place while homeless Rhode Islanders were being housed there.
Time now for checking the forecast. Storm tracker meteorologist Kelly Bates joining us now live in the Weather Center. Kelly, I can't get past how mild it is out this evening. It's unbelievable.
It's weird, right? I mean, we typically don't see temperatures like this, at least for a prolonged period of time like we have. But yeah, we are closer to 60 than our average high temperature for the day. So 57 right now in Providence. We have mostly cloudy skies. Winds are moving in from the west, so we're starting to facilitate that wind direction change, which means things will be different tomorrow versus where we were today. So we're finding improvement in terms of visibility, that westerly wind continuing to move in. Still pockets of reduced visibility in coastal areas, but that fog will be dissipating during the overnight. We're saying goodbye to that cold front that went through today and left us in excess of an inch of rain in many areas of southern New England. Behind it, we're going to bring in an area of high pressure, and that means sunshine for your Thursday. And it looks like we're going to get Friday out of this one, too. But temperatures are still going to remain warm overnight, which means a warm start to tomorrow. And wait till you see how warm the highs will be. I'll have that in just a couple of minutes. John?
All right, we'll see you then. That's quite a tease. Thank you, Kelly. New tonight on 11 at 11, a former substitute teacher in Westerly is now suing the town because he believes he was fired for his political views. According to this lawsuit, Patrick Cloutier was fired by the principal at Westerly High School for questioning the effectiveness of the COVID vaccines and for criticizing Dr. Fauci. He also was asked if he took part in the January 6th riots. Cloutier did admit that he was there, but says he was turned away from the rally area by police. Cloutier is now trying to get his job back and damages for lost wages. Meanwhile, another Rhode Islander has been arrested in connection with the January 6th riots. According to the FBI's Boston division, 53-year-old William Cotton of Hopkinton was clearly seen on multiple surveillance cameras inside the Capitol, chanting with the crowd. Cotton is the third person from Rhode Island to be charged in the Capitol attack.
In political news tonight at 11 o'clock, ABC 6 News has learned Governor McKee's 2023 inauguration will be at the Convention Center instead of on the State House steps where it's usually held. A spokesperson for the governor saying that change of venue is because of the extremely cold weather we experienced at the start of January. Massachusetts AG Maura Healey signing off on the topless for all beach policy in Nantucket. Voters there passing the measure earlier this year. The idea proposed by Nantucket resident Dorothy Stover, who said it was all about making beach policies fair to both men and women. The sign-off from Healey means the new policy is officially on the books and everyone can be topless at beaches in Nantucket.
Now to an ABC 6 News update. A murder-suicide understandably rattling people in a tight-knit Fall River neighborhood. That early morning tragedy sparked over the family's current living situation. The shooter was not happy about his soon-to-be in-laws staying there for months. ABC 6 News anchor Olivia DeRocha picks up the story from there.
So freaked out by it, I don't even know.
Wednesday morning, Christine Fernandez was leaving her Bank Street home in Fall River to bring her kids to school. That's when she found blood smeared on her door and her doorbell that would later become part of a murder-suicide investigation right at her neighbor's home.
I don't know. I think maybe somebody was trying to ring the doorbell, and I'm shocked that I didn't hear anything because normally I would wake up, you know.
The Bristol County DA's office said around 3 o'clock Wednesday morning, 25-year-old Christopher John Baptiste pulled out a gun and told his fiance's family they had to leave immediately, saying he was fed up with them living there. Investigators say that's when a brief fight broke out between Baptiste and the fiance's 69-year-old father before he shot and killed him. While the female fiance called 911, Baptiste shot his fiance's mother and sister before turning the gun on himself.
It is pretty quiet, yeah. That's why I'm shocked. It's scary, knowing something like that happened right next door to you, and with two young kids. I'm shaking right now.
Olivia DeRocha, ABC 6 News.
New tonight on 11 at 11.
To the person responsible for Shauna's murder, we have your DNA. We have your genetic characteristics. Justice is coming for you.
Investigators in Springfield have new information on a cold case from more than 3 decades ago. The Hampton County District Attorney releasing images of the suspect believed to be responsible for the sexual assault and murder of Shayna Price. The 17-year-old's body was found in 1990. Investigators say DNA evidence was used to develop an image of what the suspect looked like at the time and what he might look like today. After multiple vehicles were broken into and even stolen in Seekonk, police there upping their patrols. During one of those extra patrols, cops say they caught one of the suspects in the act, arresting Chaz Gagnon in a stolen vehicle. The 18-year-old Pawtucket man faces numerous charges from several jurisdictions, and tonight, police issuing another reminder: lock your doors and take all your valuables with you.
The Rhode Island Department of Health now warning about the leaked personal information of nearly 9,000 people. According to the department, a link to a spreadsheet was emailed to 46 people. It includes information about thousands of people who were getting food deliveries while in quarantine during the height of the pandemic. It does include addresses and phone numbers. Everyone listed in that spreadsheet is supposed to get a letter from the state by December 20th to let them know their personal information has been compromised. Still to come tonight at 11, an update on the troubling murders of 4 college students in Idaho, what police are now asking people to be on the lookout for.
Plus, the tridemic now impacting people of all ages, why health officials are comparing it to last year's Omicron surge.
And Brown and URI tangle at the Ryan Center tonight with the Bears coming out on top. Highlights on the way, including the frantic final moments. You're watching ABC 6, Southern New England's trusted news center.
Thursday on Good Morning Providence, continuing to follow the latest out of Fall River after that shooting leaves 2 people dead. Plus, Nick has your forecast.
Yeah, we're watching a big storm that'll develop offshore, and I've got your complete weekend forecast starting at 5 a.m.
Fire it up, Randy!
That's how you make it. Like it never even happened, happen.
Serve Pro.
See you tomorrow.
Get exclusive offers on select new Volvo models. Contact your Volvo retailer to learn more.
V101 plays the 80s and more. It's the songs that pick you up while you're working with superstar artists like Billy Joel, Bon Jovi, Elton John, and Journey. Southern New England's workday soundtrack. The 80s and more on V101.
It's the B101 Morning Show with Kristen and Steve. Join us every weekday morning from 5:30 to 10.
We play the songs you love and get your workday started with a few laughs.
Listen at work, in the car, and on iHeartRadio with your smart device.
Kristen and Steve, B101. It's like the Avengers have arrived.
I'm here to have some fun.
The buzziest late show on Hollywood Boulevard. Jimmy Kimmel Live.
Is there anything he won't brag about?
Fire it up, Randy!
That's how you make it. Like it never even happened, happen.
Serve Pro.
See you tomorrow.
Do you hear what I hear?
It's CMA Country Christmas. Gather the family as country music's biggest stars perform your favorite holiday songs.
Merry Christmas!
Carly Pierce hosts CMA Country Christmas, Thursday on ABC.
Today marks the 81st anniversary of the attack on Pearl Harbor. Remembrance ceremonies taking place in southern New England. 2 held earlier today in North Kingstown, another in North Attleboro. The Japanese Imperial Navy launched the strike on December 7th, 1941, drawing the U.S. into World War II. More than 2,000 Americans were killed. The Braga Bridge on 195 is named in honor of a Fall River man who was killed in that attack. In national news at 11 o'clock, police in Moscow, Idaho say they are looking for a vehicle that may have been involved in the murders of those 4 college students. The department saying it needs the public's help finding the occupants of a 2011 to 2013 Hyundai Elantra, like the one you see on your screen. That license plate still unknown. The car is believed to have been in the area of the home where those 4 students were killed last month. Earlier today, police removed the students' belongings from the house. Those items will be returned to their families.
The former COO of Theranos sentenced to nearly 13 years in prison. Sonny Balwani was convicted of fraud linked to the failed blood testing startup. The collapse of Theranos began in 2015 after a Wall Street Journal probe said the company's full test with a drop of blood technology was nowhere near what was promised to investors. The founder of Theranos and Balwani's ex-girlfriend, Elizabeth Holmes, was sentenced last month to 11 years in prison. Now to our focus on your health.